So something I've been working on recently is using really basic minor pentatonic licks and runs to follow chord changes. And the way I do that is by actually changing the pentatonic scale I'm playing based on what the rhythm section is playing behind me. Now I'm in drop C, that's C, G, C, F, A, D. And I'm going to show you exactly how to play a run of that type, and then I'm going to get into the kind of the meat of things, the theory of things. So here's an example. Now that little snippet is from a song called Mind Demons that I recently released with a couple of friends. Any information on that will be in the description. But it uses that idea of a simple minor pentatonic pattern that follows the chord changes. Here, I'll show you slowly exactly how to play it. Now you might notice that for much of that run, I was in the second C minor pentatonic box here. The pattern there that I'm following is very specific. It's groups of 6 notes. Now all I'm doing is really moving between 2 strings, with the 5th note bringing me to the next string and the 6th note landing me back on the string I started on, so that way I'm starting, I can start the same pattern again and move to the next string. Now that's not just limited to this part of the guitar neck, you can apply that all over the place, you can go outside the minor pentatonic. It's a pretty versatile idea, and in this case I wanted to keep it pretty simple for myself while I was trying to write using this particular concept. Now, if you look slowly at what I just played, what I played for Mind Demons, there are 3 notes that don't appear in the C natural or C minor pentatonic, and those are these 3. Now that's a flat and 2 Ds. It's obviously when I played them there, pretty dissonant sounding. They don't sound good together, and they don't really sound right with C minor pentatonic, though they are in the key of C. Now why did I play those notes? Well, that has to do with the whole idea of changing minor pentatonics, but I just want you to remember those notes for now because I'm going to change directions a little bit. So due to reasons that I don't want to get into in this video, F minor pentatonic and G minor pentatonic, that's based on your 4th and 5th scale degree, or your 5th fret and your 7th fret here on your guitar neck. All of the notes in both F minor pentatonic and G minor pentatonic appear in C natural minor. They overlap completely. So that means if a rhythm section is playing an F minor, or if your rhythm section is playing a G minor, you can play in F minor pentatonic or G minor pentatonic and both be in C and kind of safe or in sounding with whatever chord you're playing over. So that means by moving from C to F to G minor pentatonic, you can always be in over those chords, right? And you won't just be stuck in C minor pentatonic. That alone is pretty helpful. Now there's the idea of relative, major, and minor. I'm not going to get into that, it's kind of beyond the scope of the video, but what it means is that for our purposes, is that C minor pentatonic, that's your 1st scale degree, and E flat major pentatonic have all of the same notes. They're exactly the same. That means if you play over an E flat major chord and you use your C minor pentatonic, it's going to sound it's going to sound safe. And that same relationship exists between chords based on your 4th and 6th scale degree and 5th and 7th. And in this case, it'll be your F minor and your A flat major, and your G minor and your B flat major, which means you can play over all of those chords using only 3 minor pentatonic scales. Now, the way I think about this on a guitar neck is I imagine a belt, a revolving belt of sorts, with, you say, a shape here. Now that's the, I guess, the third minor pentatonic box in C. So if we move to F, where does that go? It's almost as if that whole box and all the boxes associated with it have rotated up to a different part of the guitar neck. The same thing is true for G, it moves up there. So suddenly you realize that with those three shapes you can play in C and E flat. You can play in F and A flat. And finally you can play in G and B flat. And you'll always sound you'll always sound safe, but you won't be stuck in C natural minor, or I'm sorry, in C minor pentatonic, which is I think something all rock and metal guitarists fear. So the song I played earlier is a 1-6-3-7. It's a C, A flat major, E flat major, B flat major. So if you look at what I'm playing for the lead there, I'm actually pulling pentatonic boxes from F minor pentatonic and G minor pentatonic, depending on what I'm playing. So let's look at this. The first note that's outside of that C minor pentatonic box is here. You'll notice though that it actually appears in this box of the F minor pentatonic. So at that point I just imagine the band rotating and a different pentatonic box being under my hand. Then during the last chord of the chorus, the band rotates again to a B flat major, which is the same as G minor, and I just pull the box from that same hand position of G minor pentatonic, which in this case would be this. And that box of course introduces this note and that note. And now it's just enough color, combined with of course all the delay and the synthesizers and everything, to make it sound like it's something other than just C minor pentatonic. Because it is. That may be a very long-winded and complicated version of how to think of this. I completely recognize that. If you have some other more efficient way of looking at it or thinking about it, I'd love to hear it. Again, that's what I've been working on. Yeah, cheers.